Well, welcome back to the Greenhouse Podcast. We are in I guess, a mini series, maybe. I don't know if that's what we should call it, Landon, but that's what I'm going to call it. Basically, wisdom in the workplace. In the month of June and July, as a church, we're reading through the book of Proverbs. We're in this teaching series called Project 31. So I thought, hey, why don't we gather some of the business leaders in our church and interview them and ask them questions about how their faith is integrated with their work and how they use it in the context of their lives. And so we have interviewed several people, and today we're interviewing Miss Natalie Fockel. It's been a part of our church now for, I don't know, 5 years maybe?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. It all kind of runs together.
Yep.
But they are like, her and her husband Andrew are some of the best people in our church. And so I thought, let's take an opportunity to talk with Natalie. So Natalie, what I would love for you to do is maybe just introduce yourself, tell people a little bit about you, your family, and then maybe just a little bit about what you do. And then I'm going to ask some additional questions after that.
Okay. Well, I'm Natalie, and I have a full-time job right now, but I own a business called Kingdom Soil Garden Company. And before I get to the business stuff, I have an awesome husband, Andrew, and a 7-year-old wild, amazing son, Hunter. And we are a sweet, happy threesome, just living our best life together, staying busy.
How long have y'all lived in Middle Tennessee?
Andrew and I have lived here since early 2014.
Wow.
So,
did you guys move first?
yes.
And then your parents moved?
Yes. Yeah. So we moved before anyone else, and now there's about 20 of us out here. So it was pretty crazy.
You guys were like the first fruits.
We were the trailblazers.
So awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It was like every time someone would come visit us, they'd want to see a realtor and plant their feet. So
That's cool. So part of what I've been hoping to continue to remind people is there's really not a difference or a segregation between the sacred and the secular. You know, I get the idea of like, this is ministry and this is marketplace. I understand that. But really, like, let's do all the good we can do with all the good we have in whatever sphere we find ourselves.
Yeah.
And really, kingdom is about this idea from Genesis about dominion. And wherever we have say, as Dallas Willard would say, the areas that we have say, that's our kingdom. That's our area of dominion. And how can we redeem it? How can we make it redemptive? How can we use it most for God's glory and for the good of humanity? And how can there be this integration of, this is my walk with God and my place in the kingdom, and this is how I can bring His kingdom to the earth in this area of business, family, life, all those things. Mm-hmm. So maybe let's start with you sharing like your faith journey, like how you grew up, like how you came to know the Lord, what that was like, and how it's led to, like, you know, your expression in various streams of the workplace, because you found yourself in a lot of different places.
Yeah. Well, I was saved when I was 4 years old.
Come on now.
My parents were in the church, and so they started me up right.
They're
and
the best.
Actually, my dad was giving a message at church, and
Come on now.
They asked, if you're ready to be saved, come forward. And I started walking forward to the front of the church, and my mom's going, "Oh my gosh, no, come here. She's trying to hold me back. And they said, "Why don't we just talk about this at home just to make sure you know what you're doing?"
Right.
And so we did, and I did. And so then a few weeks later, I was baptized and raised in the church. My parents are strong believers, and I knew Jesus at a young age and loved Jesus, but I don't think I knew the depth of that. Really, I'm still learning that every day.
Yes. Yeah.
And when I started my business, that actually excavated my faith more than anything else, because before it became a business, it became the place where I found Jesus the most, in the stillness of the garden. And I have just fallen in love with learning about him as our great creator, and just how perfectly he designs everything. And so my tagline for my business is exploring Eden, imagining Eden one space at a time. And
So
so it's been really cool to be able to, before I put on my business hat, just to think through, like, God, what do you want? What do you want to teach me about you while I'm in my garden? And that's a daily. I feel like I hear him speak the clearest when I'm out in the dirt. And so that's been just so healing for my soul. And then I ask him, what do you want me to do for my clients, for the people that you send in my path? And, they come from all over, and they're all different kinds of people. And some of them are definitely not saved.
right.
But there's just an organic grace there for me to share, bring up the tagline, imagining Eden one space at a time, and to share like what that means for me.
Yep.
And it's just a gentle way to just share my perspective with them. And they often ask more questions, and it's a pretty sweet
That's so cool.
marriage of passion and work.
So, Kingdom Soil is a fairly new development. Talk a little bit about the multiple workplaces, maybe, and expressions of vocational work that you've had along your way. Because what I've learned in these kind of interviews with people, like people that I'm talking to today, that's not where they started, but God used all these things, like all in their past. So maybe just give us a little bit of the resume journey. These are the places and the expressions of where you worked and what those were like.
Yeah, well, so I definitely don't have a degree in horticulture. I'm not an arborist, but I have a music degree, which I'm not using other than on the worship team.
Right, right.
And then I did years and years of executive assistant work and a lot of customer experience work. I've been with the same company for 8 years, doing various levels of customer experience. My title right now is Director of Client Delight, which is so fun. And so
now that is awesome.
Yes, my whole job is
to make people happy.
It is. They call me the fairy godmother. I get to send people gifts that they're not expecting, and my whole job is to see people and notice them and speak into their lives. So it's a dream. It's great. But what's also amazing is the amount of favor I've had from that company in support of Kingdom Soil. I do large-scale gardens for both the founder of the company and the CEO of the company. And so they are my bosses. They are also clients. And I coach one of them. And so it's been a really amazing thing to watch the Lord's favor on just developing that relationship to be mutually beneficial. And it's just only God could do that. Only God.
That is so cool. So give me the title one more time, because this is like awesome.
Yeah, it's Director of Client Delight.
Wow. Director of Client Delight. This is amazing. So how did you, have you always enjoyed gardening?
No, it started in fact, I cannot keep a houseplant alive to save my life.
Okay.
I will never stop trying.
So there's hope for me.
There's so much hope for you.
Okay.
When I was a little girl, my mom and dad would ask me to pull weeds, and I would cry. I hated it. I really had no interest in gardening at all until COVID. And then I needed a hobby. I needed something to do. And so we just started with a little box in the backyard, and I got the cheapest box we could find on Amazon just to make sure that I was going to stick with it and didn't have a black thumb. And I was so excited when anything would grow. I'd post pictures about it, and people would just say, okay, that's not normal. You're actually really good at this. And so I just kept pursuing it just because I had a love for it. And then it just kind of went down the fast train. Just went really fast. I got certified in a specific technique, And during that certification process, decided that I ought to do a business. I'm helping people anyway. And so I want to keep doing this, and I might as well get paid for it.
Yep. That is so cool. So tell me about the name.
Okay.
I mean, on some levels, like I can, maybe fill in blanks or whatever, but how did you come to, okay, I'm going to call this business Kingdom Soil?
Yeah.
Tell me all the things about that.
Okay. It gets a little bit tricky
Okay.
because it's, there's a lot of it that is, we're seeing with our eyes closed, as you would say.
100%.
So it actually came from a vision that Andrew and I have together to someday have a retreat center and to be able to bring ministry and practical workmanship in one place together.
Yep.
And so Andrew is passionate about men's ministry. We are passionate together about saving marriages. And he wasn't fathered as much as he is now by his heavenly Father.
Yep.
As a growing up boy, and so he's passionate about helping father younger generations and I'm passionate about coaching people and teaching people how to work with their hands in the garden. So before my garden piece came into play at all, before I even planted the little box in the backyard, Andrew and I dreamed about what our retreat center name would be someday. And we actually named it Kingdom Soil, our ministry name, before we knew I would ever do anything with dirt or plants or coaching or business or anything. And so the name itself is a little bit prophetic of what has developed from that.
100%.
He has Kingdom Soil Coaching. He does life coaching and spiritual direction. And so he's got an umbrella, or Kingdom Soil is sort of our umbrella. He's got Kingdom Soil Coaching, and I've got Kingdom Soil Garden Co. And we don't know what God's going to do with it, but we say he has our yes, and we just say, here you go. Right. We'll keep dreaming. We'll keep, dreaming with our eyes closed, and you show us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you get to see it with your eyes open.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it.
It's really cool. So how have you seen the integration? I said in a prior episode, it's been my belief all my life that you lead from where you live. Mm-hmm. There's not a separation. I mean, I have to put on my pastor hat at times, but really I'm a son, and God's doing that work, and he's building this leader for what the expression he's going to have in the world and the encounters that I'm going to have. And so, like, God's been doing this work in your life all your life. Mm-hmm. And as Andrew would say, it's a multi-decade work. Yep. So this budding expression of Kingdom Soil and this Kingdom Soil Garden Co., now you're actually having like clients and you're doing things, and like what are some of the like biblical principles that you have used practically with what you're doing with your gardening business?
Yeah, so I think obviously wisdom, I have to play the wisdom part with being the owner. But when I'm in a garden with people, I am teaching them about the biblical rhythms of patience and how things take time and things get sweeter with age, and the biblical principle of pruning, and how you have to cut things back to get more. And we have to cut things out of our lives to become better and to get closer to Jesus and remove the mess.
Yeah.
And so I think there's just so many parallels with gardening and our walk with God, And so I can talk about it sort of in code with my clients,
Right.
And then let them read between the lines or talk about it,
Have you found, is there like a recurring maybe theme related to what people are kind of learning through the gardening process? Like I'm sitting here thinking like, man, gardening would probably like naturally slow me down.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. So I know, I mean, we live in this world right now where it's just going a million miles an
Breakneck
hour.
speed.
Yep. And people are always hooked onto their phones. They're just addicted to technology and screens. They're behind their computer screens all day long. And so getting people out into the garden forces them to just slow their world down, to get back in touch with the real, to touch tangible things, and to get away from screens, to get away from technology. Honestly, it helps. There's been scientific studies that show that it helps increase serotonin levels. It removes anxiety. I used to be a very anxious person, struggled with anxiety for a lot of years. And being in the garden will take it away immediately because it just slows me down. It connects me to what's right in front of me, and that's all I'm focused on in that moment. And so I've been able to give that gift to clients and say, you know, the more time you spend in your garden and the more consistent you are with it, the more you will long to be there and the slower your life will get, the slower the world around you will seem because you're just focused on what's right there and only that.
So I guess I'm going back a little bit. Talk a little bit like practically about like the I guess that you would call them services or the things that you do. Like it's not just, I guess people could have you like come install a garden, but then I think you like maybe people already have one and you come help them learn. Like what all does this involve?
Yeah, so I offer designs. I'll design a garden,
okay.
install a garden, maintain a garden. If someone just wants it to look pretty and they don't want to take care of it, I will take care of it. Just come
Okay.
visit a couple times a month and keep things up. I also offer coaching, and so I will coach people who do want to be in their garden, but they don't really feel confident yet. I will walk alongside of them and coach them through how to get better at that and take care of things. And yeah.
This is so cool. So what about like, you know, I grew up in North Georgia. So when we talk about a garden, I just think about tomato plants or,
Yes.
stuff like that. But it's both, right? It's some food.
Yeah.
Is there two different types of, is there different names for different types of gardens? Like,
Yeah,
because
so-
when you say garden, I just think, where's the squash?
Right.
And where's the peppers? And where's the corn?
Yeah.
But that's not always it, right?
Right. So
Okay.
I have my business mainly focuses on kitchen gardens, which is like raised bed, container type gardens
Okay.
with high production. And we get high production based on companion planting and strategic planting around things.
See,
Yeah.
I'm getting schooled right here.
And then I also design and install perennial gardens and pollinator gardens. So a lot of native plants native to our region, our area, that all of the beneficial insects that protect our garden are, gravitate towards. So I will design and install a complementary flower garden to help the vegetable garden grow better. And so usually those happen in tandem. Usually those go together. I don't like to plant just raised beds unless
Okay.
we've got flowers, but I'll do it if that's what they want.
Okay.
But it's just so awesome to see. That's just another example of how amazing our creator is. Like, he didn't design tomatoes. He didn't create tomatoes to be built in a little container by themselves.
Come on now.
He created tomatoes in a garden that were
Community,
right
right?
next to flowers that actually bring pollinators to pollinate the tomatoes. And, it's just a whole ecosystem in and of itself. And it's not something man created, for
Right.
sure.
It's divine design.
Yeah.
This is really, really cool and fascinating. So you got these like two legs that you're standing on. This director of client delight. I get that right?
Yep.
Kingdom soil. I don't know. I think it's just this another picture for Christ Chapel people where we call it's not either or, it's both and it's the living union of an integrated life. And I think the other thing that's just really cool to me is the whole dream thing. It's like writer of Isaiah says, here a little, there a little, line upon line, little by little.
Yes.
We're seeing God do things. We don't see the full picture, but we see glimpses of it, and there's a good foreshadowing of what God's doing. And I guess if you were offering like maybe a note of encouragement for people that maybe have a business dream, and maybe they wouldn't even put business on it. Maybe there's just a dream in their heart. Like, what would you say to like those people that maybe haven't seen it realized yet, or they see it faintly? Like, what are some things that they could like hold on to, I don't know, keep it alive?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a good question. I would say, first of all, I would just say go for it as long as you're doing it with God.
Yep.
Walk with God in it. Tell him what your desires are. Tell him what you're dreaming about and ask him to show you what are his dreams for you and open the doors when it's the right time. And don't move if you don't have a peace about it. Don't do it if you're not certain about it.
Yeah.
There's this tension between, being willing to risk, because business owners have to risk in all businesses, and also not trying to get ahead of God, because if those are the desires of your heart and he's placed them there, he will fulfill them in his time. And so, we're in that. I feel like he's opened the door wide open for the season that I'm in right now, but we don't know what that looks like 10 years from now. We're just believing, and he has our yes to do that, whatever it's going to be,
Yeah.
So I had the unique blessing, I think I shared this with you, but I had the unique gift of him giving me a vision a few years ago of he and I standing in a very large bullet together, and it was just Jesus in there. And he was like summoning me in, and he said, come in here. It's insulated, so we're totally safe, but get ready, girl, because we're going fast.
Right.
And I had no idea what that was. I felt so weird even saying it out loud. I told Andrew, and he was like, you have to tell Jeremy. And I just felt weird texting you about that, but what a gift that moment was, because I've held on to that.
Yes.
And just had this assurance in my heart that I don't have to know what it's going to look like. You said we're going. You said I'm safe. And so let's go. Let's do it.
It's really awesome. You mentioned following peace. And so there's a scripture in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 17 that says, all the paths of wisdom are pleasant, and all her paths are peace. Mm-hmm. So I think it's why I think wisdom is so important in our time. I think it's, we talked about how gardens slow people down. I think as it relates to wisdom, there's so much information available. There's so much content available. It's possible to have this measure of knowledge, but not really have applied knowledge, which would be wisdom.
Right.
But then on the other hand, it's this peace. Like, how do I know I'm walking in wisdom? I would just say, how's the peace in my life?
Yeah.
The peace and pace together, I think, is the sweet spot. And so, like, Lord, what do you have for me? Where's the peace in that? And then stepping in that direction. And again, I've said it, and I think I didn't really experience until we moved here. And it's really cool watching other people experience it. Like when God allows you to see something with your eyes closed, and then you're able to see it with your eyes open.
Yeah.
It's why we're on the earth.
Yeah.
It's the eternity that he's set in our hearts. He gives us a glimpse of it. It may be in the form of like a bullet, It could come in a various different ways. But like, I think giving ourselves the permission to dream, importantly, with God.
Yeah.
And allowing him to do exceedingly abundantly above what we can ask or think. Like, that's where the fun is. Well, Natalie, thank you so much for being on the podcast. How cool is it that we have Kingdom Soil garden extraordinaire here on the Greenhouse Podcast.
I love
right?
it. I love
It's
it. I
great.
was so excited when you
It's
named this
great.
podcast
No,
that.
it's so cool. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to you guys journeying with us in the future.